start to be able to become my own best friend rather than my own enemy.
It's about self-care, about looking after yourself.
We're living in such a fast-paced world society that we miss so much.
Just stopping and breathing, focus on what I'm doing.
This is a way of paying attention. It's a way of paying attention to your external experience, but also to what's happening for you internally, to your thoughts, emotions, bodily sensations. Lots of benefits. One is about living more fully, being in the present moment, enjoying each moment for what it is, smelling the roses, enjoying the sunshine, the taste of the coffee that you're drinking. Another is about helping you work with difficult thoughts and difficult emotions. Usually we avoid those things because they're uncomfortable, but we can find ourselves kind of running away from ourselves. And mindfulness invites us to turn towards those difficulties, to befriend our experience. And that actually leads to a simpler way of living, a more comfortable way of living. I think what I notice is that when people finish a mindfulness training course and then they take that through into their life, that it has a kind of a massive impact on them, simply in terms of enjoying simple things more, managing their life better, enjoying their relationships more fully.
The reason why I signed up for mindfulness was to help with my negative thinking. I thought it looked good, so that was the reason to help with my moods, I'd say, with feeling low, which then, with the negative thoughts, would sometimes make me feel quite anxious. And I thought I'd give it a go.
I have a real tendency to sort of not live in the moment. I sort of be reassessing the past constantly and over-analysing that, or planning as far ahead as I can with everything I'm doing. And a friend of mine, who I would consider to be pretty mindful anyway, did the course and recommended it to me. And since having a baby a few months ago, I think that sort of principle of being able to be in the moment has become much more important to me. So that's the reason I signed up.
I was finding day-to-day work a bit stressful. I was taking my stress home with me, not sleeping, going from 0 to 100 on just the very, very minor things, so not coping very well at all, and just needed some way to be able to battle that stress.
I'm a mum, and I find that I get quite stressed because I have so much going on, so I thought it would help with that.
I think last year I went through a period of kind of lost myself in a way, but then I spent the last year just focusing on myself and trying to get better. So as usual, I started going to the gym, stopped drinking and so on. I think mindfulness is kind of the next step that I want to get involved with, so I signed up.
We usually start off with a little discussion about how our week's been, what we've struggled with, what we may be finding a bit easier. Do a group meditation. And we also focus on a different aspect of mindfulness in daily life, so maybe how to deal with difficult situations, how to cope better with physical pain, lots of different things like that.
It's about being able to talk about your experiences as well, so how you found that meditation, were there any challenges, talking about your week in general, how you'd found your practice at home.
I find meditating really useful, that it calms me, focuses me. I found through meditating, it's making me be in that moment and not letting all our thoughts just go round and round in my head.
It was very challenging at the beginning of the course, but I found as the time went on, I found different techniques which were right for me and which fitted into my lifestyle.
Like, I have the concentration span of a 5-year-old. So at the start I found it really hard, but that's what the practice is all about. Because I've always thought, oh my gosh, I can't concentrate, my head just goes off and I think of everything else. But that's what the practice is all about, is just kind of being aware of where your mind has gone and just bringing it back.
I've always found it quite difficult just to sit still, but having done it now in a group situation, and then having those meditations given to us by Vicky on CD and via the email through Dropbox, to be able to then copy that at home, I am finding that a lot easier, because it feels like I've been talked through it with the teacher and in the group, and I'm just sort of repeating what I've done in class, so that is really helping.
I still have thoughts, which is good about mindfulness, because it says, you know, not to beat yourself up about the thoughts, acknowledge that they're there, you're aware of them, but then you anchor yourself with the breathing. And I find that really, really helpful.
With my little boy, whereas before, if he wanted a bottle and he'd be crying, I had to get really stressed and try and hurry things up as fast as I could, because you've only got that amount of time that you can do. So I found with mindfulness, it taught me to just embrace that time and, you know, just breathe and, yeah, so I'm a lot calmer.
When I go to the gym, one of my triggers is when my trainer tells me another 5 reps, and once he says those words, my mind just goes, oh my gosh, I can't do it, I'm not good, it's hurting. But learning from it and just breathing into it, when he says another 5, I just breathe into it and I'm like, no, I can do this. And then I just focus on the next rep and the next, and I can do it. So that's a real benefit to me.
I'm able to have sort of a much more balanced perspective on things now. If I feel like someone's been having a terrible day or an argument, I'm able to look back on it and sort of see that it wasn't really as bad as I thought it was at the time it was happening. So yeah, see that with a bit more balance.
Much more calmer and getting much more to life pleasure, mostly at home. I'm trying to bring that into work as well. I have a little boy, and whereas before he used to talk to me and I used to nod and say yes and no. Now I stop and listen to what he's saying, and we have a good discussion, and it's written all on his face. He knows I'm listening to him, and it's brought us together so much more. It's given me so much more. It is priceless.
I find that the day is a lot longer. I find I'm achieving a lot more, just because previously, before doing mindfulness, all of a sudden it would be lunchtime or it would be 5 o'clock, and I'd think about what I'd done that day, and it would be like, oh, the day's been a blur. But now actually just the mindfulness has given me that opportunity to concentrate on, I guess, one thing at a time and get something finished. And
I think by doing the 8 weeks, it got me into that routine. So I'm getting into a routine of doing my meditation, so I think it'd be easier to keep things up.
you can read as many books as you want, and try as many different ways of doing it at home, but being in a group of like-minded people who are having the same difficulties, struggling with their practice at home, there's been so much beneficial to me, because I feel it's not me, I've not put the pressure on myself.
Especially if you're new to mindfulness, and I think it's an advantage where you have other people as well that are also meditating with you. So you become, you know, friends, and you can support each other.
Yes, absolutely, and I have been probably boring people with how great mindfulness is and how they should do it.
Hopefully, by seeing the way I've improved through mindfulness, I really hope others will pick it up.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I'd say it would help anybody and everybody.
But I think everyone can benefit from a bit of mindfulness, so definitely.
The guest house. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honourably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond.